All right, let's talk about Army of Darkness, written and directed by Sam Raimi, and this came out in 1992, I want to say. And we got Bruce Campbell back as Ash once again, and now he's in like the year I don't know because I didn't write it down, but he's in a different era, and he has to fight the Deadites once again, but he has to get the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon, to return back to his time. So this one has time travel involved, and we get the introduction to S-Mart. Shop Smart, Shop S-Mart. So, this one is the first one I ever saw as a kid. I thought it was scary when I was younger. Now, of course, watching it as an adult, it's fucking ridiculous and goofy from beginning to end. There's nothing scary about this film in the slightest. It's a Three Stooges film with Bruce Campbell, is what it is. And it's shockingly tame. So, getting into my positives is I love the look of the skeleton army. The K and B effects in this are pretty good. I like the makeup effects on the Deadites and just the look of the skeleton army in the third act. Like, they're not all the same. They don't all look the same, and the look of the captain, his face, like, it was pretty awesome. And the whole third act is my favorite part. It's the least goofy part, and which is why I like it so much, I guess. But it's still fun. It's fun, but it's fun without being so over the top and silly. And Bruce Campbell is probably at his best in this one. I like some of the one-liners here about, this is my boomstick, and the only thing you're in charge of is like Jack and shit, and Jack left town this morning or something like that. Like, there's a lot of funny lines from him. First you wanted to kill me, now you want to kiss me, blow. And just like the first two, this one has more great Sam Raimi camera work, and there's even like callback shots to the first two. Now, the things I don't like about this movie is I don't like the retconning of the end of part two. At the end of part two, they're like praising Ash, saying, "Hail, like he's the king, he's our savior." And in this one, they don't even explain how he went from that to a fucking slave. It just starts with him in like shackles, and he's like, "My name's Ash, and I'm a slave." Like, how did he get to that point? Like, they could have at least thrown in a quick scene, a quick line. It comes off as lazy writing, in my opinion. And I'm not a fan of the period piece setting, the whole 1300s castle shit. Like, it's not appealing to me. And what's definitely not appealing to me, what doesn't work, is the Three Stooges comedy routine at like the windmill with all the little tiny ashes and poking him in the face and like all that shit in the graveyard, all the like bone jokes. There's a lot of puns, and it's just so cringeworthy. You're a little goody little two shoes, and it's just ridiculous. I also didn't like that this one had like no gore at all. There's zero gore, and there's hardly any blood. There's one scene where all of a sudden a bunch of blood just shoots out of that pit. I just don't understand the decision to go from two relatively gory films, especially the first one, and then the third one just get rid of almost all of it and just have no gore, hardly any violence at all. And I didn't like the love interest they threw in here. Like, she's just here to be a damsel in distress later on in the film. And I wish that her character just would have been like a guy, like a sidekick, working with Ash instead. Another thing this movie kind of ignores is the fact that he's possessed Ash. Like, in part two, it's confusing. Like, he's possessed towards the beginning, and then he's possessed again later on for just a bit. Like, it just keeps coming and going, and now that's gone in this one. Like, what happened to that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. The whole possession, how it works in this franchise, makes no sense at all, and they never go into depth and like truly explain how this shit works ever. And in Evil Dead Rise, that's what they need to do. Explain how this thing works. And not calling this movie Medieval Dead was a huge missed opportunity. So, final thoughts. This is a super short and fast-paced, illogical action comedy with little horror elements in it, I guess, that has some neat visual effects and makeup designs by K&B, and an epic war between the skeletons and the living. But the medieval setting and the goofy-ass comedy just is not my cup of tea. So when it comes to Army of Darkness, this one's a bit of a drop-off from the first two that I love. I'm giving this one 3.5 out of 5. So there you have it, another franchise come and gone. I guess the next thing I'll do is record a ranking, so keep an eye out for that, and let me know what your thoughts are on this movie in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.